Hello, I am Varsha. Today I am going to speak about addiction. What comes to your mind when you think of addiction? What is addiction? Addiction is an inability to stop using a substance or engaging in a behavior even though it is causing psychological and physical harm. How do habits become addiction? Habits and addictions are different phenomena, although they share some similarities. Habits are routines or behaviors that we repeatedly perform in response to specific triggers or cues, often with little conscious thought. They can be positive or negative, depending on the behavior and its impact on our well-being. Addictions, on the other hand, involve a compulsive and uncontrollable engagement in a particular behavior or substance, despite negative consequences. While habits and addictions can coexist, not all habits become addictions. However, some habits can develop into addictions under certain circumstances. Types of addictions: behavioral addiction, substance addiction, impulse addiction. Behavioral addiction refers to compulsive and excessive engagement in specific behaviors that can lead to negative consequences and a loss of control. These addictive behaviors do not involve the use of substances but still activate the reward and pleasure centers in the brain. Substance addiction, also known as substance use disorder or drug addiction, is a chronic condition characterized by compulsive and harmful drug-seeking and drug-taking behaviors. Substance addiction involves the repeated use of substances despite negative consequences and a loss of control over drug use. Impulsive behaviors are actions that are performed without thoughtful consideration of their consequences. They often arise from a strong desire for immediate gratification or relief. Impulsive behaviors can range from impulsive buying, impulsive eating, self-destructive behaviors, or engaging in risky activities without considering the potential negative outcomes. Alcoholism. Alcoholism is a serious condition that can have severe physical and psychological consequences if left untreated. Treatment often involves a combination of therapy, medication, and support groups to help individuals overcome their addiction and develop healthy coping mechanisms. If you or someone you know is struggling with alcoholism, seeking professional help is crucial for recovery. Drug addiction. Drug addiction, also known as substance use disorder, refers to a chronic and compulsive pattern of drug use despite negative consequences. When thinking about drug addiction, the following points come to mind. Physical and psychological dependence. Drug addiction involves both physical and psychological dependence on a substance. Physical dependence is characterized by withdrawal symptoms when the drug is discontinued, while psychological dependence is an intense craving or compulsion to use the drug. Tolerance and escalation. Over time, individuals with drug addiction often develop tolerance, which means they need higher doses of the drug to achieve the desired effect. This can lead to an escalation in drug use as they chase the initial euphoric effects, putting them at a higher risk of physical and mental health problems. Impaired control. Drug addiction is marked by impaired control over drug use. Individuals find it challenging to regulate or stop their drug intake, even in the face of negative consequences such as health problems, relationship issues, or legal troubles. Video game addiction. Video game addiction, also known as gaming addiction or internet gaming disorder, is a form of behavioral addiction characterized by excessive and compulsive playing of video games. When thinking specifically about video game addiction, the following points come to mind. Excessive gaming. Video game addiction involves an excessive and uncontrollable amount of time spent playing video games. It goes beyond normal recreational gaming and becomes the central focus of a person's life, leading to neglect of other responsibilities and interests. Withdrawal symptoms. Individuals with video game addiction may experience withdrawal symptoms when they are unable to play, such as restlessness, irritability, or mood swings. They may also have a preoccupation with gaming, constantly thinking about and longing to play games. Interference with daily life. Video game addiction can have a significant negative impact on various aspects of a person's life. It can affect academic or work performance, relationships with family and friends, and physical and mental health. Neglecting responsibilities, skipping meals or sleep, and isolating oneself socially are common signs of gaming addiction. Gambling addiction. Gambling addiction, also referred to as compulsive gambling or gambling disorder, is a type of behavioral addiction characterized by an uncontrollable urge to gamble despite negative consequences. When thinking about gambling addiction, the following points come to mind. Preoccupation with gambling. Individuals with gambling addiction often have an intense preoccupation with gambling. They may constantly think about past gambling experiences, plan future gambling activities, and find it challenging to concentrate on other aspects of life. Loss of control. One of the hallmarks of gambling addiction is the inability to control or stop gambling. Despite negative consequences, such as financial losses, strained relationships, or deteriorating mental health, individuals with gambling addiction continue to engage in gambling activities compulsively. Chasing losses. Gambling addicts may fall into a cycle of chasing losses, believing that they can recover their losses through additional gambling. This behavior often leads to even more significant financial and emotional consequences. Mobile addiction. Mobile addiction, also known as smartphone addiction or mobile phone dependency, refers to an excessive and compulsive use of mobile devices that interferes with daily life and well-being. When thinking about mobile addiction, the following points come to mind. Excessive phone use. Individuals with mobile addiction have an overwhelming and uncontrollable urge to constantly use their smartphones. They may spend excessive amounts of time on their phones, often at the expense of other important activities such as work, school, relationships, or self-care. Withdrawal symptoms. Similar to other forms of addiction, mobile addiction can lead to withdrawal symptoms when individuals are unable to access or use their phones. These symptoms may include restlessness, irritability, anxiety, or a strong desire to check the phone. Neglect of responsibilities. Mobile addiction can interfere with various aspects of life, including academic or work performance, relationships, and personal well-being. Individuals may neglect their responsibilities, miss deadlines, or have difficulty focusing due to excessive phone use. Food addiction. Food addiction, also known as compulsive eating or binge eating disorder, is a type of behavioral addiction characterized by an uncontrollable urge to consume large quantities of food, often in a short period, despite negative consequences. When thinking about food addiction, the following points come to mind. Loss of control. Individuals with food addiction experience a loss of control when it comes to their eating behaviors. They may consume large amounts of food rapidly, even when not physically hungry, and find it difficult to stop or moderate their food intake. Emotional eating. Food addiction often involves using food as a way to cope with emotional distress, such as stress, anxiety, depression, or boredom. Food becomes a source of comfort or distraction from negative emotions, leading to a cycle of using food to regulate mood. Cravings and withdrawal symptoms. Food addicts may experience intense cravings for specific types of foods, particularly those high in sugar, fat, or salt. These cravings can be similar to the cravings experienced in substance addiction. When attempting to cut back on certain foods, individuals may also experience withdrawal-like symptoms, such as irritability, restlessness, or mood swings. How to treat addiction. Medications. Psychotherapy. Medical services. Inpatient addiction treatment. Self-help and support groups. Let's take an oath. I promise to cultivate self-awareness, understanding the triggers and vulnerabilities that may lead me down the path of addiction, and to take proactive steps to protect my well-being. I pledge to embrace healthier coping mechanisms, finding solace in positive relationships, hobbies, and self-care practices that nourish my body, mind, and soul. I will learn from my mistakes, drawing strength from each experience, and using them as stepping stones towards a brighter future. Today, I declare my commitment to break free from addiction's chains, reclaiming my life and embracing a future filled with hope, purpose, and genuine happiness. Thank you.